Am I the asshole for losing my shit and screaming at my girlfriend to get out of my house after what her stepbrother did? Girlfriend was over at my place 2 days ago. We were both 20. She has a stepbrother who's 23. Before this, I'd only met him a few times and he seemed like a regular dude. She asked if it was okay for him to come over too, for a couple of hours. I said, why not? He said he would get booze and pizza, and my parents were always visiting relatives for the weekend, so I figured we could shoot the shit. I have a little sister who's 15. They came over and she stayed up in her room the entire time. We were all a bit tipsy and my girlfriend's stepbrother asked if he could use the washroom. I pointed him to the one down the hall. My girlfriend and I were preoccupied, and I didn't even realize how much time he was talking until we heard raised voices upstairs. We immediately went up to check what was going on and found my sister crying. Dude had gone up instead of using the washroom. My sister's door had been ajar, so he apparently walked into her room. All details I managed to wrangle from my crying sister, by the way. She was taken by shock and was trying to stay calm, but he wasn't leaving. He was trying to shut her up. She told him to go out and he closed the door behind himself, which is why she started freaking out. She tried to get past him to open the door and he grabbed her, but she managed to open it anyway. I'd reached the landing by then, so he backed off. Obviously, I was super fucking pissed. There was a lot of screaming going on, lots of accusations. We were all drunk except for my sister. After getting the story from her, girlfriend's stepbrother was stuttering and deflecting. I'm pretty sure I threatened violence at some point. My girlfriend was trying to be the mediator. She said I had to calm down and couldn't fly off the handle based of worm of mouth. But I was there. I saw my sister crying in panic. I know what she's like, and I know she wouldn't lie about something like this. Why would she? I told her stepbrother to get out of my house. My girlfriend kept saying we could sort this out and have a proper conversation, but I didn't see what conversation was there to be had. Eventually, she said what if my sister was lying, in front of my sister's face. I asked her what on earth would make her think that, and she said she's a kid and could make it up for attention. Like the title said, I lost my shit. I told her to get the fuck out and afterwards she kept calling me, but I ignored everything. The dust had settled a bit. I went over everything again with my little sister. She promised me it had happened the way she was telling me. She told me she was scared he was going to essay her. My girlfriend texted me the morning saying I shouldn't have raised my voice like that, and I scared her. I thought of apologizing then, but she still hadn't said a word about apologizing to my sister or addressing the issue with her stepbrother. I only replied that we had to talk, and she said there's nothing to talk about it. There's no hard proof in her words, and the stepbrother ended up doing nothing, so she told me she would deal with him, and I should drop it. I don't know if I'm the asshole for the way I handle this. Maybe if cooler heads prevailed, this silent treatment wouldn't have happened, and we could have discussed everything. I don't know what to do from now on either. I love that girl. They want us to be over, so I want some advice on where to go from here too. Story 2. Am I the asshole for ending an 8-year friendship after my cameras recorded her in my home when I was out of town? Backstory. My friend and I met when I was her hairstylist. Then we realized that we only lived about 6 blocks apart. Due in part to the proximity, we became very close and she would stop by 3 or more times a week. We enjoyed a lot of the same crafts and we had a mutual love of plants, so we often worked together in my yard or hung out by my fire pit. She had a lot of constant personal relationship crises, which I always pointed out that she brought on herself, and it became more and more exciting to spend time with her. Consequently, I slowly tried to limit our time together, although I did care about her and knew she didn't have many other friends. Okay, so I went out of town to visit my daughter at college. But before I left, I installed the new security system that I had received. It didn't really occur to me to mention it to anyone. When I was with my daughter, I told her about it, and we got on her phone so I could teach her how to watch the cameras at home also. We have two cats and she wanted to be able to see them and interact with them. I was showing her how to see the clips from the motion detected early in the day. It was nighttime, so the house was dark, in which case the camera lights are on for detection. In a clip from 2 hours earlier, I noticed my friend walking through my house with the flashlight of her phone. She was inspecting every drawer, cupboard and nook and cranny. My daughter and I were in shock. I texted her immediately. I asked her if she was at my house today and she replied that she had been in the backyard picking up sticks, apparently for a fire pit she intended to have at her home that evening. Again, I asked her if she had been in the house. She responded that she had to go into my garage to look for a container. I then told her I had security cameras now. She laughed and asked why I was asking her if she was there because I had obviously seen her already in the backyard. She had no clue that I had also installed them in the house. So I sent her a screenshot and asked her if she knew who that person might be in my house with the flashlight. She waited a few minutes to respond and then said, "Oh yeah, your cat got out." I asked her how my cat would get out if nobody was in the house, and she responded, "I'm so sorry, I forgot that I was looking in your house for some gel pens because I need to do artwork." I reminded her that she had just bought 100 of them the previous week. At this point I was really getting pissed. I told her that I was freaking out that I saw her sneaking around my house with the flashlight and that made me uncomfortable. She just kept laughing it off, and then, when she realized I really was upset, she changed her tune to one of remorse and said she just needed to find something to do because she was upset with her boyfriend. I told her that I didn't think I could spend time with her anymore because I had spent years trying to teach her about boundaries and our friendship was beginning to exhaust me. So I was telling the story to the guy that rents my basement, and he said that she's at my house every time I'm out of town. She was used to seeing her around, so he thought maybe I had asked her to do something there. 2 weeks later she texted and needed relationship advice, and acted like since we were so close, it should not be a big deal. I told her what my basement renter said. I was super pissed at this point. She became very offended and said it was nobody else's business and I should not have told anybody about it. I told her our friendship was definitely over and to not contact me again. I told her that I was removing myself from toxic people. Later, I was talking to one of my other friends, also a client, about it, and they kind of made me feel that I was not a very good friend because I need to have a talk with her and forgive her. They said that people make mistakes. I need to be forgiven and she should get another chance. Since she was extorting me anyway, I just can't bring myself to want to have anything to do with her. Am I the asshole? Thank you for watching. Text what you think about these stories and see you next video.